Marketing Edge on TV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Babumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. An atmosphere of honor and remembrance filled St. James African Church, Idioro-Mushin, Lagos, as family members, clergy, associates, and dignitaries gathered to celebrate the life of Pa Ezekiel Fadolapo, father of the Director General of Alcon, Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo. The burial outing and Thanksgiving service drew personalities from across Nigeria's integrated marketing communications industry, government institutions, and several other sectors of the economy, all united in paying their final respects to the late patriarch, remembered for his humility, peaceful lifestyle, and unwavering Christian faith. While delivering the sermon titled "It is Finished," Bishop Olukayode Shokunbi reminded worshippers about the temporary nature of life and furthermore urged them to embrace godly living and total surrender to Christ.
We're going to miss him a lot. We're going to, no doubt about that. We're going to miss him a lot. He was a man of prayer. That's the first trademark. He was a man of prayer. You understand? And he always fulfilled all his obligations. You don't need to pursue him at all. Sometimes he will even submit himself to you. That, sir, I have not done this, I want to do it. That's why I was calling the children that they should have somebody, due to his influence in the church. They shouldn't allow that influence just to die like that. They shouldn't allow it to die with him. You understand? We need somebody that will be like him.
Family and church members shared fond memories of Pa Fadolapo, recalling his generosity, kindness, and constant effort towards peaceful coexistence among people around him.
Baba is a lovely person. The families, he has a way of bringing people together, no matter how the situation is.
I know him for a particular logo. When they mention Baba Mushin, I know it's always with one particular glasses, very small. I said, when you see him, that's his logo. So it's wonderful. He's a nice man, like it has been said, and he's always giving us sweets.
He's a nice man, very humble, and he's ready to sacrifice himself for anything. So he's a nice man. We are going to miss him very well.
I want to say a very big thank you to the Marketing Edge team. They've given me massive media support, and we are not taking this for granted. I want to place it on record that they've been of tremendous support, and I want to appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Thereafter, guests moved to Sheba Event Center, Maryland, Lagos, for a reception attended by top government officials, directors general of government agencies and parastatals, heads of sectoral groups within the advertising industry, chief executives and founders of advertising agencies, brand leaders, corporate executives, church leaders, and other distinguished personalities from across Nigeria's business, public, and communications landscape. Indeed, the reception also became a moment of solidarity and support for the Alcon Director General, Dr. Olalekan Fadolapo, as friends, associates, and well-wishers joined him on the dance floor to honor the memory and enduring legacy of his late father. In Nigeria's marketing industry, brands and agencies are gradually moving beyond transactional relationships towards stronger partnerships built on trust, collaboration, and shared value. As economic pressure and consumer expectations continue to rise, industry experts say both sides are now becoming more strategic and intentional in how they work together Chief Executive Officer of House Creative Media Nigeria Limited,
That was the idea
Ifeanyi
behind
Goro,
House Creative Media
noted that
as a
creativity
house,
now
House
revolves
Creative
more
Media
around
that can solve
collaboration, problem
whatever
solving, and
challenges that
shared
businesses have,
responsibility between
brands
agencies
have.
and clients.
But in the last year and a half, we kind of refocus our energy to help SMEs, because we saw that in Nigeria, or if you look at the world economy, small businesses drive the economy, not the big businesses. So we wanted to take all the stuff that we've done with big businesses, wanted to look for a way to democratize this for small businesses to also help them grow.
Similarly, President of the Experiential Marketers Association of Nigeria, X-Man, Tolulope Medebem, noted that tighter budgets have pushed agencies and brands to focus more on value, precision, and stronger collaboration.
Once we continue to remain in silos, the industry will remain fragmented. The reason why we are all scared of collaboration is because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be the master of the boat. You understand? But at the end of the day, how many masters can there be in that boat? You understand? By the time we're all collaborating, everybody's getting a share of the pie. So a greater percentage of what I do as a company is actually tied around collaboration. I collaborate with experiential companies. I collaborate with agencies, creative agencies, to bring to life their plans to their clients. I'm big on collaboration, and I think that collaboration, honestly, is the greatest way to go for all of us.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
That was brand news. Next is Branding Focus after this break.
Every day, millions of Nigerians walk past your next customer. The question is, can they see you? Nimbus Media puts your brand exactly where Nigeria is already looking. High-impact digital screens inside shopping malls, supermarkets, gyms, and the busiest locations across Nigeria. From billboards to brand activations, we make sure you show up and show up boldly. We've helped brands launch, grow, and become the name people remember in the moments that matter the most. Your audience is already out there. It's time they found you. Nimbus Media. Visibility. Done right. Book your campaign today at nimbus.com.ng.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Now, brand in focus. Mobile money services have recorded a powerful surge, with transaction values rising to $227 billion, marking a 15% increase. Meanwhile, this growth confirms the sector's sustained expansion across emerging markets. As adoption widened, users, providers, and financial institutions deepened their engagement. In addition, mobile platforms are now firmly positioned as core infrastructure within modern payment systems. Notably, interoperable transactions drove much of this growth. In other words, seamless transfers across platforms accounted for 23% of the increase, thereby making payments faster and more accessible. Consequently, users can now move funds more easily. At the same time, providers are strengthening trust and improving overall usability across digital finance ecosystems. However, a major shift is also unfolding. Rather than relying on basic transfers, consumers and businesses are increasingly using mobile wallets for payments and commerce. As a result, merchant transactions surged by 42% to reach $155 billion, overtaking other categories to become the dominant use case.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. Today, we'll be having the concluding part of our conversation with the Chairman Organizing Committee of Nigerian Public Relations Week 2026, Yomi Badejo-Okusanya, YBO. Join us after this break.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand idea.
On Industry Conversation today, we'll have the concluding part of our conversation with the Chairman Organizing Committee of Nigerian Public Relations Week, Yomi Badejo-Okusanya. YBO.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for staying with us.
You're welcome.
So last year when we had a conversation, you hinted on a plan, something in the works for CMC Connect. That's Crisis X, and it's launched already. So what will that do in the industry? Is there any solution that we'll be offering?
Okay, so Crisis X has now been, it's a crisis management service, which we have now automated. We've now, what's the word? It's now AI driven.
AI driven. Okay.
Yes. So we have a platform on which what would have normally done and would have taken us 10, 12 steps, we can do it in one step by reason of that AI platform. I'm made to understand that it's the first of its kind in Africa, definitely sub-Saharan Africa. And what does that do? We know technology plays a huge role in the future of communication, and we need to advance with technology. We need to work with technology. So that's exactly what we have done with AI, with with the Crisis X, which we have elevated to an AI-driven platform that helps us diagnose. There are 4 steps. Okay. Of one is what we call the risk audit, the risk plan. Well, let me call it crisis audit. What can be your vulnerability plan, and then the crisis vulnerability identification. So we can go into organizations and we say to them, these are the possible challenges you may have, and then we have a plan on how to respond. Then number 3, we manage the crisis when it occurs, and then number 4, recovery of the brand. So all this has now been put through a process, which is, the word is automated. So what it relies less on human, the possibility of human error. Of course, humans are still there because public relations is still about relations, but there are things that we can process through the platform that, one, makes it faster, makes it a lot more accurate, and helps us in defining what kind of solutions we would prefer.
So you talked about the human. It still has the human feature in it. Naya, I think.
Yes, Naya. A shortened form for Naya.
Oh, okay. So why are you preserving that human element?
Well, there's still supposed to be that interaction, and part of it is to make it easy, so you can indeed impute what you want by yourself. But so let me take, for instance, now a crisis occurs and I'm driving. I can actually access that platform even while I'm driving, and it will be giving me all the solutions that I want. So by calling on Naya, I'm sure a lot of you have heard Siri, and so on and so forth. So I can say, look, I have a challenge and I'm driving. This is what my challenge is. What options do you have? What solutions do you prefer? And I can have an engagement as if I'm talking to one of my resources, one of my downlines, or one of my contemporaries in the business on how we should tackle a specific challenge. You know that crisis many times doesn't give you notice. There's a time limit within which you must address a crisis. If you don't, it escalates, then becomes more difficult. I'm sure you know that. That's basic crisis management 001. So what this tool has helped us to do is that what it would have taken us a length of time to deal with, the tool helps us to do it.
How does Crisis X tell the difference between genuine breaking news and engineered outrage?
We have our way, it's part of it. So again, That's another resource he has. Normally, you'd have to go layer and layer and layer to find out what we call deep fakes. This can tell you what deep fakes are.
Oh.
He can analyze it there and then. I can tell you that, look, this news, blah, 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 by reason of we've scored, we've looked and is likely to be this or that. And he can give you that result in seconds. Or something you'd have had to go and be running around and look. So you know which to respond to or what to respond to and how to respond to those things.
Let's get deeper into PR.
Yes, sir.
What's the biggest shift you've observed in Nigerian PR in the last 5 years?
Technology has played a significant role, and it's just starting. When I joined PR, when I started my profession, computers were just coming up, so there's so much we could do. But with what we have now, you really must, I think the biggest quantum leap that we have experienced is technology. And if you want me to go further, I'll probably talk about artificial intelligence. It has changed completely the dynamics. Now, it doesn't erase human relations, because in AI is what you actually quote and unquote put in that you get out. And in those days, at the beginning of computing, they used to say something called, they had a phrase, garbage in, garbage out. So it doesn't eliminate humans. It just collapses or speeds up the process, but the human element must still be there. So if there's one significant thing, just like globalization affected public relations at a certain point in time, or let me not just talk about public relations, affected advertising and all forms of marketing communication. Technology is now the key driver. So anybody who wants to operate in the PR of the future and is not AI enabled can't work. It can't work.
Looking at communications and brands spend more on communications these days, but public trust seems quite low. Where do you think this disconnects? Where does it show up?
That's a very interesting question. Why? Why are, first and foremost, what breaks trust is when people's hopes, aspiration, expectations are not being met. That's the biggest break in trust. So the day, I don't drink beer, but the day Gouda starts tasting like stout, that's a break. So I think many consumers, they become very discerning. Globalization, you did ask me in the last 5 years, globalization is more than 5 years, so that's why I didn't mention global. I took it for granted. But so globalization has the expectation of the consumer is continuously shifting, and the demographics are being significantly fragmented. So I can look at you. So let me give you a very thick answer, and I'm going to use myself as a guinea pig here. When I came in, the crew said to me, "Oh, what happened? We knew you for your bow tie."
Yes.
And for years, for decades, you only wore bow ties. But nowadays, we've seen that you are no longer wearing bow ties. Not that I just don't wear them as frequently as I have. My dress sense, quote and unquote, has changed. Now, imagine someone trying to sell me a bow tie. My wants, my thinking, my aspiration has changed. So if you look at me and you box me into that person that, oh, I have 20 bow ties, I'm going to sell them to YBO because he jumps at bow ties. My want has changed. So I can profile you, and when I look at you, I think I know what you want. But things are changing. It becomes so fluid. When we talk about millennials, when we talk about Gen Zs, you know, sometimes we just bunch everybody out. Oh, these young people. But my son, who is 27, may have things that are so fundamentally different from somebody who is 30 or 31. And somebody who is 23 or 24, 3 years younger than him, there may be there may be certain similarities, but there can be huge differences in them in terms of where they want to go to, what they listen to, in terms of the language they speak, and so on and so forth. So with the shifting expectation of the consumer, and when that is not met, it breaks trust. And then people begin to, they begin to shift. They begin to, for want of another word, philander. You know, they go from one place to the other because they are trying what they want. Nothing exemplifies this more than, let's talk about for instance, the restaurant business or the nightclub business. At a point in time, you hear that, this nightclub, that's where everybody is going.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, in a few years, nobody goes there anymore. One, because the tastes have changed. I was talking to someone, a younger person, and he was trying to describe the nightlife in Lagos for me. He says from maybe 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, there's one place they go. Then from 11 to 1 or 2, there's another place they go. Then there's a nightclub in this Lagos that they open their doors at 2 a.m. Would you think that nightclub business is that complex? So they cater for different ones. So for me, that trust, the single thing that breaks down the trust is because expectations have not been fully met.
Many Nigerian brands treat PR and marketing as the same thing. So where does one end and another begin?
Now that's a really serious jam question. There's a book definition of public relations, you know, and I'm trying to remember my definitions. Marketing, let me start with marketing, and I'm not going into definitions, I'm just going to paraphrase here. It's, in my own opinion, I'm also a fellow of the Nigerian National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, is about it's the profession that drives sales. In fact, yes, I think I can get it. Because marketing, anything that has to do with marketing is what? Selling.
Yeah.
While public relations is about building relationships.
Marketing drives sales.
Sales.
PR,
public relations build relationship. Now, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do I build a relationship before I sell to you, or I sell to you before I build a relationship? That's where the synergy between marketing and public relations coming. That's the simple term, I can define it. So if I want to sell you something, should I build the relationship first? Or even after I have sold it to you, what drives that relationship beyond service? Beyond service. So marketing will tell you all the virtues of how you should use this brand or you should use this service. Public relations is more interested in building relationship, which goes beyond just selling. And you realize that when you have a good relationship between a consumer and a brand or a service, that's lifelong. as against me just selling you. And I'm not knocking marketing. In fact, what I'm saying is that they are complementary. While one sells, the other builds relationships.
In the next 10 years, where would you like to see the Nigerian PR industry?
I like to see it as a prime, if not the premium solution provider in management. Right now, decisions are being taken in many boardrooms and they're leaving us out. And then they will now ask us to come and implement what they want without taking in our input. So we need more public relations practitioners in the boardroom. We need them to sit at the table. Don't finish it and then you then say to me, oh wow, we haven't thought about PR, and then you have some small budget and then you give. We've worked where, by the way, my firm, CMC Connect LLP, we're affiliates of Boston. And Boston Global is arguably the second largest PR network in the world. But we've had instances where our office in South Africa will come back to us and say, oh, wow, client wants to do this, wants to do that, but they have a small budget for Africa. And you guys take the budget, go and share. PR became an afterthought. Because if we had been brought in the room from the beginning, we would have been able to make our own input and would have been able to advise accordingly, especially when budgets are being decided. So, yeah, that would be something that I would, let's get into the room. We must get into the room. And not just get into the room, we must sit at the table.
YBO, thank you very much for having this with us.
Thank you.
The conversation continues on our website, www.marketingedge.com.ng, and all our social media handles at Marketing Edge. My name is Bababumi Agbibi.